I'm going to go ahead and get started, everybody. So again, I'll give my quick spiel. If sitting on the floor is not comfortable for you, go ahead and grab a firm couch cushion or a towel that you can fold up, or a blanket that you can fold up, or if you have a meditation cushion or a yoga block, you can use that too. If sitting directly on the floor is not comfortable for you, go ahead and get something to sit on. And you'll know it's not comfortable because it will either be, you'll have some discomfort in your lower back or your hips or your knees. Those are the usual suspects when it comes to being uncomfortable sitting on the floor directly. Okay, so you're sitting on your mat nice and comfortable-ish. And before we get started with our movement and our opening like brief meditation, I guess, when we settle into the class. So I'm just gonna I can see one person. Some of you have your video turned off, that's okay. And not just for me, but for yourself. I used to do this with my students when I was a teacher, and I would greet them at the door every day, and they would walk into class and they would give me just quiet so only I could see it, but they would give me a thumbs up, like I'm doing great today, or a thumbs down, I'm not doing well today, or a middle, like we used to call it middle thumb, for somewhere in between. So just take a moment and you can give me your thumbs, but it's really for yourself to just acknowledge where you are right now. And I will say that I had kind of a rough day yesterday. I was really stressed out and I was short, and I just felt like I couldn't get anything done that I needed to get done, and I was always being interrupted by, the kids, and I just was not feeling it yesterday. I spent the day very frustrated, and in full disclosure. And so I'm glad to be teaching this yoga class this morning for a lot of reasons. And it reminded me of one of my favorite yoga stories, and I'm going to give you the super abridged version because it's really, I'm finding it to be really relevant right now. For those of you who don't know, I taught yoga for 12-ish years and have over 1,000 hours of training. And one of my more scholarly studies when I used to do this, it's like feels like a past life for me, was in like yoga and Indian and Hindu mythology. So there's this story, and I'm gonna tell it to you very briefly because I do find that it's really relevant right now. And you might have heard it about this Hindu god figure, mythological character, whatever you want to call it, named Ganesh. And you've probably seen him, right? It's got the elephant head. I have like a little statue at home. It's got an elephant head, but like a fat, chubby baby's body, right? And the story, abridged story, goes like this. So there was this man named Shiva, and he was married to this woman named Parvati, and there was a war that broke out. So Shiva had to go and fight, in the war. He was gone for a number of years, and he didn't see his wife. And Shiva and Parvati had a son, and their son was named Ganesh. And because Shiva was gone for so long, he didn't see his wife for a very long time. He wasn't seeing his son grow up, and he left when his son was a baby. So one day he comes back home, I'm getting ahead of myself. One day, Parvati decides Ganesh is like, I don't know, we'll say like 5 or something like that. And Parvati decides she wants to go upstairs and relax and take a bath. Imagine that, wanting to go relax and take a bath when you have kids in the house. And so she goes upstairs and she tells him, don't answer the door for anybody. I'm just upstairs, but don't answer the door. We're gonna be safe here, right? We tell our kids that all the time, don't answer the door. And so she goes upstairs to take her bath, and before long, there's a knock at the door, and Ganesh doesn't answer it. He follows his mom's wishes, her rules, her orders, whatever, and he does not answer the door. And the pounding gets louder and more angry, and the door, gets knocked down, and it's Shiva, and he's come back from battle, and he's so angry that this person does not open the door for him. This is his house, but he doesn't recognize his son, Ganesh, because he's grown up. And this is just a myth. This is obviously not real. And he gets so angry in the story, and he cuts his head off, right? Because that's a super reasonable thing to do. And Parvati runs down the stairs, hearing the commotion, and she's so upset. And what have you done? And this is our son. And Shiva was so, felt so terrible. He didn't realize it. And so he goes off And he says, I'm gonna make this better. I'm gonna fix this. And he goes into the woods and he says he's gonna take the head of the first sleeping animal that he sees. So the first sleeping animal that he sees is an elephant, and he gets the head of the elephant, comes back home, puts it on the body of this little boy, and breathes life back into it. So now we have Ganesh with the elephant head in the baby's body. And the moral of the story is that Ganesh is supposed to be the remover of obstacles, right? He's supposed to, people put him in front of their doors, you know, as protection, removing obstacles. But the story goes that Ganesh removes obstacles, but he's the one that puts them there to begin with, to teach you a lesson. And I'm finding that to be true so much for me right now during this time, that I'm learning. So this is feels like such an obstacle right now for me, and probably for a lot of you. And but I'm learning a lot of lessons. There are a lot of lessons that I'm learning every day. Sometimes they're easier to learn than others. And so just thought of that for today's class. And it just feels very much like overcoming many obstacles every single day, but they're all there to teach us a lesson. And so if we can kind of take a step back and use our yoga practice to be able to take a step back and realize what the lesson is that we're supposed to be learning, then I think we're all going to be better off. Okay, I'm done talking. Go ahead and sit up nice and tall. We've got hips, a lot of hips on the docket today for Pam. She requested them, and I find that my hips get really tense during this time. They say that our hips hold a lot of stress, so we're going to do some good openers and other fun stuff too. Sit up nice and tall, close your eyes, and just start to deepen your breath, drawing your awareness inward. Hopefully this isn't the only time you get to focus inward today, but this is how we start, right? And this is going to inform how the rest of our day goes. We start with softness. It'll help the rest of our day feel more smooth. Come back to your breath if your mind has started to wander. And if we wake up and we start our day with aggression and resistance, it's gonna inform the rest of our day in that direction as well. And so every day that we wake up, we have a choice. Even if we don't like the options that are put in front of us, we still have a choice. Come back to your breath. Whatever obstacles are being put in front of you right now, just know that you have a community here to support you in whatever ways you need. That's such good news. None of us have to do this alone. Fold your hands together at the center of your heart, Anjali Mudra. We're going to seal into the beginning of our practice. We're going to seal in an intention. So whatever obstacles that you might be facing right now, or whatever lessons this time is trying to teach you, bring something that you'd like to infuse into your practice to your mind right now. Come back to your breath and press your intention between your palms, sealing it in. So to your breath, to your intention, and to just being aware of these obstacles and the lessons they're trying to teach us. You can bow to your heart. Release your hands, open your eyes, and come onto your mat if you're not there already. I'm going to talk a little louder because I have to go back so you can see me. It's a little bit of a different setup in here, but thank you. Yeah, this is good. Okay. So we're going to start seated today, Baddha Konasana, soles of your feet together, knees apart. Your feet are open like a book, outer edges glue together, inner edges peel apart with your toes spread, root to rise. So you're rooting down into your sitting bones, As you rise up through the crown of your head, getting longer in both directions, lengthening your spine. Hinge forward at your hip creases. I say this, if you've taken my class throughout this time, you've heard me say this before, but I like to press my knees down with my elbows. But everybody's set up a little bit differently, so if that doesn't feel good to you, then don't do it. You can always bend your elbows straight back, or do one of these. Okay, long, deep breaths here. Just starting to get into the body. Inhale, come up to center. Extend your left leg out straight. Plant your right foot close to your sitting bones, and your left foot is engaged, it's active. Wrap your left arm around your right knee. Plant your right fingertips behind you. Root to rise, lengthen, and twist. Look over your right shoulder. If that hurts your neck, don't do it. Press the top of your left thigh bone down. Twist a little deeper if it's available. And unwind. We're going to do a baby cradle here. Take your right foot into the crook of your left elbow. If it fits there, if you're more here, that's okay too, okay? This is, your modification. Otherwise, in the crook of your elbow, other arm wraps around. Lift up your right tush, set it back, and then square yourself off again. And then you get to rock-a-bye baby. Now, keeping your right foot engaged, keeping your left foot engaged, press the inner arch of your right foot into your arm so your ankle doesn't sickle. Lift your heart, soften your gaze, and breathe. I feel this in my lower back too. I've had back issues since I was 15. I don't know if any of you can feel this in your lower back. I can feel it, but it's not a bad feel. It's not a feel that's that's saying stop doing this, right? Part of yoga is recognizing the subtle differences in what our body is telling us. Go ahead and release your right foot and plant your left foot. Right foot stays engaged. Plant your left fingertips behind you. Right arm wraps around your knee. Root to rise. Twist. And shift your gaze over your left shoulder if that's available. Root the top of your right thigh bone downward. Oddly enough, if you let your right thigh bone pop up like it wants to a little bit, it's gonna take the curve out of your lower back in a way that's not so good. Press the top of that thigh bone down, and it's really subtle. You may or may not notice it. I wish you guys could talk to me. Maybe I'll have you guys unmute yourselves one day. And release. We're gonna baby cradle the left foot, same thing on this side. So, set your tush back on the left side and then square yourself back off. Rock-a-bye baby. Lifting your heart. It's really easy to round here. Try not to do that. Roll your shoulders back, lift your heart, lift your gaze. And reach, root out through your big toe mound on your left foot so your ankle doesn't sickle. Everything stays engaged. There's no such thing as a passive, as a completely passive yoga pose. You're all active in some way. All right, go ahead and release your foot. And we're going to come into fire log. Well, do I want to save that for the end? No, we're going to do it now. Fire log. So both shins, you want to be parallel to the front edge of your mat. So the tendency is to pull your feet in and do it like this, right? Because you feel like you get further this way. But and you'll get a hip stretch like this, but in order to do the pose most effectively, take your bottom shin, make that shin really parallel to the front edge of your mat, and flex your foot. Okay, foot is active, toes are spread, press out through your big toe mound, and then your top foot cross over your bottom knee. So both shins are parallel to the front edge of your mat. All right, if this is too much for you right now, your modification is here. You're gonna plant your left foot, cross your right knee over your right ankle over your left knee, and my hands are planted behind me to support my body. Okay, so this is a modification. Otherwise, you're here. This is called fire log, Agni Stambhasana. Agni is the Sanskrit word for fire. Stamba is log, and asana is pose. Start to crawl your hands forward. Breathe. Now take your hands to the soles of your feet. Press hands and feet together really firmly. And you're going to notice some space being created in your hips when you do that. Really neat tricks, full of tricks. Come back up to center. We're going to switch legs. Do it nice and gentle, parallel, unless you're doing the modification. Parallel. Okay, this time if you're doing the modification, right foot is planted, left ankle across, right knee, and you'll probably notice a difference in your hips. Like one hip will likely be, start to crawl your hands forward, one hip will likely be tighter than another. And just take a minute to think about why that is. You know, do you always cross your right leg over your left? Do you always hold your purse on your left arm? Are you picking up small children on your right side? You know, what is it about your day-to-day living that creates some of these, you know, imbalances, I guess? And it's not wrong or bad, it's just something to be aware of. Maybe change your purse to the other side sometimes. It does make a difference. Inhale, come up. Hands to palms to feet. Press feet into hands, hands back into feet firmly. You're going to feel some space being created there. Hinge forward. Breathe. Soft gaze. And come up. Gently release. All right, we're going to be in downward facing dog next. So take a minute if you need to shake it out. Adjust your clothes. And downward facing dog. Once you're in your downward dog, take a few breaths here to soften your knees one at a time. Stretch through your side body. Shake your head yes and no. Do whatever feels good. Just integrating your mind in with your body, right? Creating that union, yoga. The word yoga has many definitions. One of the definitions is union, to yoke together. So we yoke together our mind with our body, with our breath. Press your heart back towards your toes. And from here, I want you to walk your feet toward the front of your mat. You can take 2 big steps, little steps, whatever. Forward fold, grab onto opposite elbows here, and let the weight from your elbows draw more length into your spine, the weight from your head more length into your neck. And notice if most of your weight is rocking back into your heels, and rock it forward a little bit. Breathe. If you guys are interested, I'm happy to send you my yoga playlist. I like to do yoga too. I turned on my Moody one yesterday. It's full of I don't know, I've got Bridge Over Troubled Water on there. Aretha Franklin's my favorite ever. So if you guys ever want a yoga playlist, I do like to do yoga to music a lot of the time. I'm happy to send that to you. Bring your hands to your hips. Hug your shoulder blades together on your back. Inhale, come to standing open heart. Exhale, hands to heart center. Press your intention between your palms. Remind yourself of why you're practicing today. Release your hands. Flip your palms forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up halfway, long spine from your hips to your eyelashes. Exhale, step or jump to chaturanga. You can always come all the way down if you'd like. Inhale, upward facing dog. Roll your shoulders back, heart forward. And exhale, lift your hips, press back, downward facing dog. Breathe. Inhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Lower to your back knee. Reach up overhead, Anjaneyasana. Sink into your front knee here. You should feel a stretch in the front of your left hip flexor. Back toes can be curled or not, it doesn't matter. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. Now soften something. I know there's something here that is telling you it's going to do the pose for you, right? Something that has nothing to do with this pose, like your jaw, right? Your jaw has nothing to do with this pose, but I bet every so often your jaw is saying to you, I can do this pose for you and make it easier, but it never works, right? So release your jaw if that's something that's talking to you. Breathe, hands to heart. Now twist, left elbow to outer right knee. Stack your elbows. Press down with your hands to lift your heart. Look up over your right shoulder. Release, touch your mat, lift your back knee. Now heel toe your right foot to the right side of your mat. So you're coming into a wide lunge here. From here, I'm gonna move my stuff. From here, your fingertips are mat distance apart. Widen your right knee out to the right as you soften your heart downward towards your mat. The modification is to lower to your back knee. Otherwise, keep it pressing up. Don't let your thigh drop. If your back leg is up, press it up. Keep your knee as high as your hips if you can get it. Your butt is high. Your heart melts here. Your heart softens. Hips are lifted, heart softens. Breathe. Soften your eyes. Good. Now everybody lower to your back knee, no matter where you are. Plant your left hand. Bend your back foot. Reach with your right hand for the outer edge, the pinky edge of your back foot, the pinky side. And kick your foot back into your hand as you open your heart toward the sky. Breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Now, even in our yoga practice, go ahead and release. We're going to move through a vinyasa here of your choice. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, pull through. And exhale, press back. Few breaths here. Now, even in your yoga practice, there are obstacles, right? Poses that are more challenging than others. And everybody's obstacles are different. And just like any obstacle off of our mat, the ones on our mat are meant to teach us lessons. We tend to shy away from things that are hard. There are certain poses that I tend to shy away from in my own practice. And those are typically the ones that we need to do most. Inhale, step your left foot forward between your hands, lower to your back knee, reach up overhead, Anjaneyasana, left side. Sink into that front knee, get a good stretch in the front of your right hip flexor here. Lift your heart, but soften your shoulders. Lift your gaze, but soften your eyes. Long, deep breaths, and we're gonna twist, hands to heart, right elbow to outer left knee, stack your elbows. Press your hands down to lift your heart, lift your gaze. Good twist here. Getting rid of anything you don't need, anything that's no longer serving you. The things that were helpful, go ahead and release. Start to heel toe your left foot to the left side of your mat. Wide leg lunge, fingertips. What did I do wrong? Sorry, lift your back knee, heel toe your foot, and then start to soften your heart. Keep your back leg lifted. You can widen your knee to the left, but root down through the inner arch of your left foot. Don't let your ankle roll, okay? Root down through the inner arch of your left foot as you widen your left knee to the side. Soften your heart. Again, the modification is here. Otherwise, keep your leg lifted, keep your hips as high as your knee, but soften your heart. Breathe. Now lower to your back knee. Plant your right hand. Lift your back foot and reach for the pinky edge side of your back foot. Now, if you can't quite get that, you can get a towel or a belt or a yoga strap if you have one. Even a t-shirt to loop around your foot to hold on to. Allow your left knee to widen to the left again. Roll back, open your shoulders, lift your gaze. The things that were helpful for us maybe in the beginning of this social isolation, social distancing, may not be helpful for us now, right? We're in a different place now than we were a month ago. Go ahead and release your back foot, plant your hands. We're gonna move through a vinyasa. Inhale, back foot plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, pull through. Now, before you go to down dog, or in your up dog, look to the left, look to the right, look back, center, back to chaturanga. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward dog. Find your breath. Press your heart back towards your toes. Shake your head no. Nod your head yes. Inhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Spin your back heel to the ground, warrior two. Arms are at a T, bend your front knee into a square. Don't let your front knee fall in, keep it pressing back. Release your shoulders away from your ears. From here, reverse warrior, flip your right palm up, reach toward the left. So this is a side bend, not a back bend here. Keep the bend in your front knee and reach. Look up toward the sky if it's available. If it's not, it's okay. Warrior two, keep the bend in your front knee. Now straighten your front knee for triangle pose. Right arm down, left arm up. Remember, your right hand can go on the floor or a block or your shin or your thigh, not your knee joint. And if you find yourself here to get your hand on the floor if your front knee is bent, walk your weight back and you might have to lift your hand to do that, but you want your front knee straight. Exhale, touch your mat. Now launch onto your front foot for standing splits. Left leg lifts into the air. Walk your fingertips forward. Left foot is engaged. Spread your toes. It'll make it less of a burden to keep lifted the more you engage it. Now soften your heart toward your shin, your standing leg, your toes. We're gonna do, these are called goddess squats here. That's what we're doing next. So you're gonna bend your right knee and bend your left knee behind your right without touching the floor. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, press. Exhale, bend. Inhale, press. Exhale, bend. Inhale, press. We're going to do one more. Exhale, bend. Inhale, press. Exhale, step back into a lunge. Reach up overhead. Crescent. Touch your mat. Move through a vinyasa. Inhale into plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, pull through, this time straight back, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. I'm going to switch around the other way so I'm not facing, so the back of me isn't facing you, but you stay right where you are. From here, inhale, step your left foot forward between your hands. Spin your back heel to the ground, warrior two. Soften your gaze out over your left fingertips and then release your shoulders away from your ears. Feel the ground underneath your feet. Keep your front knee bent. Reverse warrior, flip your left palm up, reach to the right. Again, this is a side bend, not a back bend. Reach, 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 good stretch. Back to warrior two. Straighten your front knee for triangle pose. Trikonasana. From here, touch your mat, launch onto your front foot, standing splits. Right leg lifts, spread your toes, foot is active. We're gonna do those goddess squats on this side. Exhale, bend your right knee behind your left, but don't touch it to the ground. Inhale, press. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Two more. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Last one. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, step back into a lunge. Crescent. Back knee is lifted. Reach up overhead. Bend your front knee into a square. You're on your back tippy toes here. Back heel lifts. Back leg is strong. Don't let your back knee drop. Exhale, touch your mat. Move through a vinyasa. Plank. Lower. Pull through. And press back. I'm going to switch my direction again. You stay right where you are. Now bend your knees and look forward. Hop, step, or float to the top of your mat. forward fold. Inhale, look up halfway. And exhale, forward fold. Now heel toe your feet together to touch. Sit down like you're in a chair, Utkatasana, chair pose. Breathe, sit your hips lower. Think of lifting your heart toward the sky as your hips sit toward the floor. So less of this, more of this. Hands to heart. We're gonna twist to the right, left elbow to outer right knee. Stack your elbows, press your hands down to lift your heart. Now draw your left hip back, your left knee back. Come back to center. Twist to the left, right elbow to outer left knee. Draw your right knee back this time. Come back to center, sit low. Inhale, stand straight up, reach your arms up to Tadasana. Exhale, hands to heart, close your eyes. Come back to your intention. Release your hands. Flip your palms forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, step or jump, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, back to chaturanga. Inhale, plank. Exhale to down dog. You can always do a more traditional vinyasa if you like. It's up to you. From here, inhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Reach up overhead, crescent lunge. Breathe, root down into your feet. Now hands to heart, launch into warrior three. Your back leg lifts to hip height. Keep your back foot engaged. Keep your gaze soft and low, one foot on the floor in front of you. And open it up to half moon. Reach your right arm down, your left arm up. Left hand can stay on your hip if you'd like. Your left foot can stay on the ground if you'd like. And standing splits. Good, breathe, press your heart toward that right leg. Lift your left leg a little higher. From here, we're gonna come to standing just on the right foot while we hug the right knee into the chest. So keep your gaze soft and low. You can start to bend your left knee. Come to standing. Let's see, my balance is always wonky. Hug that left knee in. And step it back to a lunge, crescent lunge. Whoop. From here, your crescent lunge, take your right, your right wrist in your left fingers, reach up, root to rise, and lean to the left. Come back to center, exhale, touch your mat. And what we're gonna do from here is you're gonna keep your feet as they are. Walk your fingertips toward the long edge of your mat, but your feet stay the same, okay? Wide fingertips, wider than shoulder distance. I'm on my fingertips here. If this isn't comfortable for you, you can come onto your knuckle pads, okay? And as you bend your front knee, you're also gonna bend your elbows to the sides and soften your heart. Walk your hands back to center. From here, step back into plank, move through a vinyasa of your choice. We'll meet in downward dog. You can always skip the vinyasa. Breathe. On your next inhale, step your left foot forward between your hands. You're gonna come into crescent lunge. Now bring your hands to your heart. Warrior three. Back leg lifts to hip height. Now it's gonna, your right hip is gonna, I'm gonna exaggerate it a little bit. Your right hip wants to lift. Don't let it. Keep your right hip in line with your left. Standing, half moon. Left arm down, right arm up, Ardha Chandrasana. Right hand can be on your hip still. Right foot can be on the floor still. Lots of options. And then standing splits, everybody. Nice long hamstrings. Lift your right leg a little higher. From here, we're going to come to standing, balancing on that left foot. Hug your right knee into your chest as you do it. So gaze soft and low, something that's not moving. Hug your right knee into your chest. Breathe. And then step back into a lunge. Exhale, touch your mat, move through a vinyasa. We'll meet in downward dog. From here, we're going to come into child's pose. So drop to your knees, big toes together, knees apart. Melt your forehead down to your mat with your arms extended. Now, if this hurts your knees, what you can do is roll up a towel or a small blanket into a roll, and you can tuck it behind your knees if this hurts your knees. That's a good way to use a prop to alleviate that in child's pose. Take a few breaths here into your back body, your lungs that mostly sit back here. Start to walk your hands up, come onto your knees. Hips are lifted. Bring your hands to your hips. Lift your heart and your gaze softly. And from here, interlace your fingers at your lower back. Roll your shoulders back, root your knuckles down and lift your heart. So you might do a little baby back into here. This might be enough for you. So stop wherever your body's telling you to stop. If you're ready for a full camel pose, Ustrasana, you can do that with your toes curled or not. Ustrasana is here. If your toes are curled under, it just brings your feet closer to you. No matter where you are, if you're in Ustrasana, hands to hips, lead with your heart, head comes up last. Sit your hips back to your heels, everybody. Hands to heart, close your eyes. Come back to your breath. Press your intention between your palms. We're going to do that again. So release your hands, come up onto your knees. Interlace your fingers at your lower back, roll your shoulders back and look up. You can stop here or you can move into Ustrasana. I'm going to show you with the toes curled under this time. If this hurts your lower back, then back off. It's not worth hurting your lower back for. And lift your heart, head comes up last. Sit your hips back to your heels, hands to heart, close your eyes. Come back to your intention. Come back to your breath and your reason for practicing today. From here, release your hands. We're going to come back into downward facing dog. So we're going to meet there. Come back to your downward dog. And step your right foot forward just about halfway, not between your hands, just maybe 1.5 feet or 2 feet forward from your left foot, and all of your toes are pointed forward. Come to a standing like this. Actually, angle your back foot about 45 degrees, maybe toward the front left corner of your mat. And we're going to do this a couple ways. So, first way, you can either do, if you can get reverse prayer, this is reverse prayer, then do this. Otherwise, this is the modification here, grabbing onto opposite wrists. or elbows or forearms or whatever. We're gonna start with either of those arm variations. So draw your right hip back, lead with your heart as you fold over your front leg. This is Parsvatonasana, pyramid pose. Inhale, come to standing. Switch legs, step your back foot forward, step your front foot back. Angle your back toes, same arm variation here. Fold forward over your left leg. Now, if you need to soften your front knee, that's okay, but just make sure that if you're here, if your knee is really bent in front, walk your weight back. Draw your left hip crease back and down. Wants to pop forward, but don't let it. Inhale, come to center, come back up to standing rather. Step your back foot in, shake out your arms. From here, bring your hands to your hips and step your left foot back again. We're gonna do a second round with different arm variations. So your right foot's forward, your left foot is back toes are angled. And I want you to do, this is gonna be archer arms. So if you can't clasp your hands when you're doing this, you can always clasp onto your clothing. So you're gonna reach your left arm up, bend your elbow behind your head. Then you're gonna take your right arm, bend your elbow to clasp hands. I'll show you what that looks like. My shoulders are really tight these days, so my clasp is not as easy as it used to be. Nothing ever is, right? So your right foot's forward, arch your arms. You can always grab onto your clothes if you can't quite get that clasp. It's okay. Or you can use a towel or a yoga mat or a t-shirt or something. And then right foot forward, you're gonna start to hinge forward. Lead with that left elbow. Continue drawing that right hip back and down. And lift, come back to center, release your hands, step forward, shake your arms out. You'll probably notice here a difference between the sides. So now step your right foot back, left foot is forward. On this side, your right elbow is up. Okay, so lift your right arm, bend your elbow, hand goes behind your head, your neck area. Clasp hands behind you or grab onto your t-shirt. Called arch your arms, left elbow's down, right elbow's up. Hinge forward at your hip creases, lead with your right elbow as you fold. Breathe. Notice any parts of your body that are creating obstacles for you in your pose. And are they necessary, right? Is it that your eyes are hardening the pose for you and release the tension there? Inhale, come to standing. Step, release your hands, step forward, shake it out. All right. We're gonna come into eagle pose, Garudasana. So, eagle, we're gonna do right foot up, right leg on top, right arm underneath, okay? So I'm gonna do this facing you. I'm gonna do this facing you so you can see. So you're gonna plant your left foot to stand, cross your right foot over the top. Now, if you can get your toes wrapped around your calf, do it. Otherwise, just let it hang out there, okay? Either way is fine. Right leg is on top, right arm underneath, okay? Now my hands are kind of touching here. Come back, I just lost my balance. Keep your gaze soft and low. I'm looking at myself on the screen and it's making me wobble. I'm making myself wobble. Start to hinge forward. Maybe touching your elbows to your knees, squeeze everything tight. Now lift back up, unwind your legs, kick your right foot back, warrior three legs, arms are an eagle. Flip. Unwind your arms, standing splits. I'm gonna move around to the front of my mat again, standing splits. Exhale, step your right foot back, lower to your back knee, reach up overhead, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Release your right hand to the mat, bend your back knee, reach your left hand for the pinky side of your back foot. As your left knee falls to the left to open that hip, root down through the inner arch of your left foot so your ankle doesn't roll, okay? Breathe into the opening of your left hip. Stack your shoulders, roll open, look up. You can even close your eyes here if that feels good. Good hip openers in today, releasing all that stress and emotion that we store there. Release your back knee. Good. From here, we're going to come into like a lizard lunge. Heel toe your left foot to the left side of your mat. Come onto your forearms. Now, this might not be available here. If it's not, you can stay on your hands and just start to bend your elbows. Soften your heart between your shoulder blades. Right? The heart is where we get to soften. We get to be stable in our muscles, around our bones, keeping everything safe and strong. And our heart is where we get to do the softening, right? Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. That was me yesterday. Breathe into that outer left hip. A lot of opening. Start to walk your hands up. We're going to move through a vinyasa here. Step back into plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, pull through. And exhale, press back. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Inhale, stand straight up for Tadasana, and exhale, forward fold immediately. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold. And walk your hands back out into plank. Lower. Inhale, pull through. Exhale, press back. From here, hop, step, or float to the top of your mat into a forward fold. Uttanasana, forward fold. It's different than Utkatasana, which is a chair pose. But speaking of chair pose, bring your feet together. Sit your hips low, reach up, Utkatasana. Lift and spread all 10 toes if you can. Sit lower. Breathe. Hands to heart, twist to the right, left elbow to outer right knee. Draw your left hip back. Come back to center, twist to the other side. Right elbow to outer left knee this time. Draw your right knee back. Sit your hips lower, come back to center, lift your heart. Reach up, stand up to Tadasana. Exhale, hands to heart, press your intention between your palms. Giving it a little power here, a little potency, infusing it into your practice. And from here, we're going to do Garudasana on the left side. So come to stand on your right foot. Right foot is the balancing, right leg is the balancing leg now. And across your left foot, over your right, if you can get your toes wrapped, do that. And your left arm goes under. Maybe your hands touch, maybe your palms touch, maybe they don't, it's okay. You're exactly where you should be at every moment. Start to hinge, touch your elbows to your knees. Keep your arms as they are, now start to lift. Unwind your legs, kick your left leg back into warrior three legs. Arms stay in eagle, squeezing. Unwind your arms, standing splits. Press your heart toward that right leg. Exhale, step your left foot back into a lunge. Lower to your back knee, reach up. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. From here, release your left hand down to the mat. Bend your back knee. Reach for the pinky edge side. Widen your right knee to the right, but let the inner arch root down strongly so you don't roll your ankle. Take your foot back into your hand back into your foot, roll open, send your throat back, your ears back, open throat,
without crunching the back of your neck. And release your back foot. Now heel toe your front foot to the right side of your mat. Come onto your forearms if that's available. And breathe. Let that right knee widen. Just feel the opening in that right hip here. From here, start to walk your hands up. We're going to move through a vinyasa. We'll meet in downward dog. Whatever vinyasa you choose, or you can skip it all together. It's up to you. This is your practice. Find some stillness in your dog pose. Inhale your right leg high, down dog splits. Bend your right knee. Stack your right hip on top of your left as you open up to the right. Don't let your left shoulder drop. Don't let your left shoulder collapse. It wants to keep it lifted and buoyant. Left shoulder stays lifted. Lift that right knee higher if you can. And now bring your right knee and shin forward for pigeon on the right side. So, lower to your back knee. I like to kind of squeegee my way back. Then I like to squeegee my front shin forward. Come down onto your forearms if that's available. You can curl your back toes or not, it doesn't matter. If you notice that you're resting on the outside of your right hip, bring equal weight into both forearms. That's how you're going to tell. You're not too much, you don't have more weight in your left arm or more weight in your right. You're centered over your right shin. Just take a few breaths here to let anything release that you're holding on to. Anything that's not serving you here. When we get tense, worried, and frustrated, and stressed out, and all of the things that are magnified during this time, next time that happens, if you're able, just notice what's happening in your body. The areas that you're tightening. And for most of us, one of those real common areas that we tense up when we're feeling those feelings is our hips. So if some of you are feeling extra tight in your hips during this time, it's probably due to all of the crazy emotions that we're feeling all the time right now. That are so magnified. Walk your hands up. Step your right foot back, downward facing dog. Let the blood rush back into your toes. Inhale your left leg high, down dog splits. Bend your knee. Stack your left hip on top of your right. On this side, it's your right shoulder that wants to collapse. Keep it lifted. And on your next inhale, bring your knee and shin forward for pigeon on your left side. And, squeegee yourself around as much as you need here. Come down onto your forearms if that's available. Remember, equal weight right to left. Equal weight in both forearms here. In both hips here. Imagine your breath is helping to break up those areas of tension. Even though we might not be able to change all the obstacles that we're facing right now, our yoga practice can help us to find the lessons in them that we're meant to learn, can help us deal with them with more grace, more patience, more balance. And sometimes, like in the story of Ganesh, we're the ones that put the obstacles in front of ourselves sometimes, right? So, or perceived obstacles. Start to walk your hands up. Step back, downward facing dog. Lower to your knees. Come to a seat on your mat. We're going to do another seated twist. So your left heel is close to your right sitting bone. You can cross your right foot right in front, or if you can go a little further, you can cross it over your knee. Bring your left elbow to the outer right knee. Root to rise and twist. Unwind. Agni Stambhasana. So we did this at the beginning of class. We're doing it again for a reason. Shins are both parallel to the front edge of your mat as opposed to the tendency to do this, right? Which is going to make the pose easier, but not as helpful, I guess. Efficient, I don't know. Agni Stambhasana, feet are flexed. Start to hinge forward if that feels okay. Just notice a difference in the way this pose feels for you. Hopefully your hips feel a little bit more open. Now, if this is still not quite accessible for you, the modification again is to plant your bottom foot, cross your right ankle over your left knee, supporting yourself with your hands behind you. Otherwise, Agni Stambhasana, fire log here. Inhale, come back up, release your legs, and this time you're gonna bring your right heel towards your left sitting bone, cross your left foot in front here or over your knee if that's available. Plant your left hand, twist, root to rise. Bringing anything out that's not serving you, letting all of that go here. Hips and twists go together like peas and carrots. Or maybe peas and carrots go together like hips and twists, I don't know. Release, Agni Stambhasana, left shin on top, shins are parallel, feet are flexed, hinge forward. You can do the modification here if you'd like. If you're in the modification, your right foot is planted, your left ankle crosses over your right knee. Inhale, come up. Hug your knees into your chest, roll onto your back. Give yourself a little back massage here. Remember, it's probably the only one you're going to be getting anytime soon. So make it good. You can rock side to side or front to back. You can make circles with your knees. Right? Just do whatever feels good. From here, drop your knees to the right, shift your gaze to the left for a twist. Come back to center, twist to the left, shift your gaze to the right, rinsing everything out. I say this all the time, but it's like a washcloth getting rid of all the excess water that it doesn't need. And it just holds on to what it does, just enough. That's what we're doing here with our bodies, getting rid of everything we don't need, holding on to just enough. Come back to center, hug your knees into your chest, and we're gonna end before Shavasana with one last symmetrical pose. I often like to end with symmetrical poses. So from here, what I want you to do is happy baby. Take your hands to your outer feet. Feet kick straight up toward the ceiling. Pull your knees down with your hand, and then tip your sitting bones down toward your mat. This is really good for your lower back, really good for your hips, really good grounding pose. Sometimes it's a pose you don't want to do in front of other people. Hug your knees into your chest. And start to release your legs down onto your mat one at a time for Shavasana. Bring your palms face up on either side of you as a gesture toward receiving the benefits of your practice. This part of the practice is just as important as any pose that we've done previously. Soften the corners of your eyes, the sides of your mouth. Let your tongue be heavy. Begin to let your skin drape over your bones like a bed sheet over a statue. Start to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, inviting movement back into your body. Keeping your eyes closed, as you're ready, start to roll over onto your right side. And again, keeping your eyes closed, as you're ready, press yourself up to a seated position. And before we close, I'm going to teach you briefly a little pranayama. So if you're not familiar, pranayama is breath work that we do in yoga, and it can be really calming, really balancing, and I'm finding that I need a lot of this right now. So with your right hand, I want you to fold your index finger and your middle finger into your palm. So the only fingers extended are your thumb, your ring finger, and your pinky. Now what I want you to do with your right hand, take your thumb onto your right nostril and close it. So you're only inhaling through your left for 1, 2, 3, 4. Close your left nostril with your ring finger and hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Then release through your right for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale through your right for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold closed both for 1, 2, 3, 4. Release, exhale through your left for 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do one more round. Inhale through your left for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold both for 1, 2, 3, 4. Release through your right for 1, 2, 3, 4. Release your hands, keep your eyes closed. Come back to your normal breathing. And just notice, take inventory. What's changed? How do you feel? Fold your hands together at the center of your heart. Come back to the intention you set for yourself in the beginning of class. And press that intention between your palms to seal it into your practice. Whatever obstacles we're going through, there's likely others that are going through similar obstacles, right? We have the community to reach out to, or just to know that they're there. And our yoga practice, again, helps us to find the lessons within the obstacles that are thrown at us. So today, in honor of your breath, in honor of your intention, and in honor of your yoga practice, you can bow to your heart. Thank you so much for coming to class today. Namaste.